Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I'm back with another video. In today's video, we are going to delve into a very, very dark topic. Okay, this is quite graphic and I just want you all to be prepared because today I'm going to look at the torture techniques of Japan during World War II. So the techniques that they used to torture their prisoners of war during World War II. Now, I've already done last year a video on Unit 731. Please, I implore you, go and check that video out after this one. But there were more locations than just Unit 731. Pretty much every single prisoner of war camp was home to some horrific scenes. The sheer brutality of the Japanese guards and the staff that worked there, the soldiers, the things that they did to these prisoners is just horrific. For example, prisoners were slowly impaled on sharp shoots of bamboo. Now this doesn't really make much sense, does it? So small shoots of bamboo. So bamboo can grow a couple of inches a day. So prisoners of war were tied down over growing bamboo shoots that had been sharpened at their ends, and these bamboo shoots would grow inches a day into the bodies of the prisoners, growing every single day further and further, inch by inch, until they fully pierce the body, leading to, of course, the death of the prisoner. A slow, agonizing death by bamboo growing through your body. Now, a lot of these torture methods were actually kind of in the name of scientific testing for medical breakthroughs. So the Japanese army wanted to know, look, if our soldiers go down and they need blood transfusions really quick, you know, they're losing a lot of blood, etc., can we use horse blood to aid them, to get them back to a fightable state for the war, for the country, for the cause? So of course they injected horse blood into prisoners of war. No sedation or anything like that, just straight into the veins, big syringe, big bag of horse blood, and see what happens. Now obviously this did not work and the prisoners died. I'm pretty sure over at Unit 731 they were actually using sea salt water as well to inject into the veins just to see what would happen. They would also have a look at how the body could survive in extreme temperatures, and well, in layman's terms, they set them on fire and burned them alive. Has to be, in my opinion, one of the worst imaginable ways to go. I understand that apparently when you burn alive, your nerve endings all get burnt and die, so eventually you feel no pain. I don't know if you're dead by that point though, so yeah, burning alive for me is certainly one of those that I really hope doesn't happen to me. Radiation poisoning from X-ray machines. The Japanese scientists would simply tie down prisoners of war under a giant X-ray machine and leave it on until they died. Just kept it going and going and going till the person was no more. According to a Chinese journalist and historical writer, Iris Chang, some prisoners of war were crucified like Jesus Christ. They were crucified against trees, boards, walls, whatever they could find to crucify people up against, they would. Prisoners were hung. Now, obviously hanging, absolutely awful. Noose around the neck and dropped. And if the neck breaks, then an instant death can occur. If not, then it is death by asphyxiation. However, the Japanese during World War II were quite creative, and so they thought, we won't hang them by their necks, we will hang them by their thumbs or by their tongues, and we will leave them there until one of two things happen. Either they hang up there and die of starvation, dehydration, or parts of the body that they are being hung from detaches from their body, in which case we'll put them back and think of something more sinister to do to them. So yes, your tongue being ripped out or your thumbs being ripped off is the only way you are getting out of this form of torture. Starvation was also a very big thing. Apparently a lot of prisoners of war were literally given a singular ball of rice, which would often have maggots and festering mold and all sorts of disgusting shit on it. So basically you don't really want to eat what you're actually given anyway, so many would succumb to starvation. The Red Cross would send supplies in, and apparently the Japanese army would take what they wanted from that first before giving the scraps to the prisoners of war. Of course, there was water-based torture, so you have classic waterboarding, etc., but you would also have a tube coming from a tap that would be inserted down your throat, and then the tap would be turned on, of course, making you feel like, well, I say feel like you're drowning, you literally are, because there's a tap and a pipe down your throat, and that would go on until either they drowned or the water was gushing from the person's nose. Excruciating agony. I believe this was done over at Unit 731, but apparently it spread further than just there, in that they would do tests on the effects of frostbite. They would freeze limbs, freeze appendages, and then pour boiling water on them to see what would happen. They would often strip the area down to just the bone while the person is still alive, still conscious, and then simply amputate the area and then move on to another. Women were sexually assaulted, forcibly impregnated, and then they would be dissected alive. I know in Unit 731 there are a lot more horrific experimentation going on pregnant women. Like I said, I've done a video on Unit 731, check it out. So lastly, there were reports of, well, the war effort wasn't going too well. Supplies were getting thin. Food rations were getting thin for the Japanese soldiers. So apparently, Japanese soldiers would choose prisoners of war, kill them, and eat them. Some of these Japanese soldiers would resort to cannibalism, cannibalizing these prisoners of war. Some even believed that it would strengthen the bond amongst the army because they were taking part in this taboo act, an act that you really shouldn't do, eating other people. So there we go. There are some very horrific torture methods by the Japanese army in World War II. What do you guys think about these methods? If you enjoyed this kind of video, do let me know by hitting the like button, subscribe to me, and share the content. I may well in the future do American torture techniques, etc. If torture videos are something that you would like to see, then I will certainly provide. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. If you would like to support me, go buy my clothing, allegedlypossible.co.uk. It's all down below, okay? Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. I'll see you very soon. Sweet one. Geese.